This podcast is produced by the Harwood Productions Podcast Network. To learn more about the network and to find more of our shows, visit us online at www.harwoodpodcast.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Harris. Today I'm going to show you a Grate potato soup. And this is a really rustic potato soup. And what makes it so over the top is all the fixins that you put on top, just like it were a baked potato. For this recipe, we're going to be using russet potatoes, and you're going to want to get 4 of them. 3 of them we're going to grate, and 1 of them you're going to want to pre-cook. And what I do is I just put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. But do make sure that you take a knife or a fork and punch some holes in this. That way the steam can get out and it won't explode in your microwave. Now, if you wanted, you could also bake it in an oven at about 350 degrees for an hour, but that seems like a lot of energy to waste for just cooking 1 potato. Now the potato I've already cooked, I'm going to set aside, and now I'm going to get busy and grate these 3 potatoes. Now there's a couple of ways you can grate your potatoes. We're not going to peel them or anything. So you could just take a box grater and on the largest side go ahead and grate them up like this. I find it's easier to use my food processor, so I use my attachment, that's the grating attachment, and I put it on like this, put the lid on, and then I'm just going to cut these potatoes in quarters and then feed them through the feed tube and let them grate up. Just like that. It's super easy. And another thing we're going to put through the food processor is 1 onion. So we're going to grate that up. And once again, if you don't have a food processor, you can use your box grater. Now I've got my medium-sized stock pot out, and I'm going to take all of this grated onion and potato, and I'm going to pop it right in the stock pot. And to the potatoes and onion, I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken stock. Now if you wanted to go vegetarian, you could absolutely use a vegetable broth if you'd like. Then I'm going to add some salt and some pepper. And we're going to taste this for seasoning along the way. Then the last thing I'm going to add is some fresh thyme. And you'll want to get 4 or 5 nice sized sprigs of thyme, and you'll want to pull the leaves off. Now I'm going to give this a stir so that my salt and pepper and the herbs and the onions can get mixed up with the broth and the potatoes. Then I'm going to take it over to the stove. I've got it on a high heat, and I'm going to put the lid on this, and I want to bring it to a boil. Now once it comes up to a boil like this, I'm going to give it a little stir. I'm going to turn the heat down to low. I'm going to put the lid back on, and I want to let this simmer slowly for about an hour and a half. Now while the soup is cooking, we want to get some condiments ready to go on top of our soup. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to think of the things that taste really great on a baked potato. And one of the things that my family really likes is some bacon. So I'm going to get about 4 strips of thick sliced bacon. And I'm going to cut this up into small pieces and cook it up. Now you could either cook it up in a frying pan, or you could scatter it on some paper towel on a plate and cook it in the microwave. Do whatever's easiest for you. I'm also going to chop up some green onions and grate up some cheddar cheese. Now about halfway through the 45 minutes, I like to come in and give the soup a stir. Now you can see the potatoes are really breaking down, which is great. And don't worry if it's feeling a little thick. We're going to be adding some cream to this, so this is really the consistency it should be right now. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir. Put the lid back on and let it cook for the rest of the 45 minutes. Now, right before your soup is done, you're going to want to take the potato that we cooked in the microwave, and you're going to cut it in half lengthwise, and then each half lengthwise again, and then you'll gather it together and you'll just cut it into little cubes like this. Now, back over here at the soup pot, you can see this has really cooked down nicely. And we're going to finish it off by adding a cup of heavy cream. And when you stir this in, really try to get those bits that are on the bottom of the pot as well. Because potato has so much starch in it, a lot of times those bits really stick at the bottom. So you can use your spoon to kind of break those up. And then we'll put in our diced potato. And this really gives the soup a nice texture. Now, if you're not ready to serve the soup right now, what I would do is turn it off, put the lid on it, and then right before you're ready to serve, go ahead and warm it up. And don't forget your toppings. You'll want to put a little cheese, some scallion, and some bacon. Now, if you'd like to try this potato soup at home, just go to our website and visit the Soups On show notes, and I'll have the recipe there for you. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll see you next time.